Hi, welcome to episode 81 of the Corner of Knit and Tea. I'm Laura, also known as Fluffy K on Ravelry, Fluffy Kira on Instagram and Twitter. I blog over at thecornerofknitandtea.com, and that's where this episode and every episode show notes will be. I sell my handspun yarns in my Etsy shop called The Stash Buckler Adventures in Yarn, and we have a Ravelry group where we currently have a knit along going. So please come over and join us and get your needles ready. Hi! I hope that you are having a wonderful week. It is Sunday, March 27th, and it is Easter. For those of you who celebrate, I hope you are having a wonderful holiday with your families. We actually don't celebrate, but we thought we'd take a quiet day at home just because everybody else will be celebrating and things are closed. It has gone pretty cold here in Kansas and it is snowing. I don't expect that we'll get a lot of accumulation, and tomorrow's high is supposed to be 65, so I don't think it's a permanent thing, but happy Easter with snow. Currently big fat flakes are falling outside. That was a lot of alliteration. And it is kind of odd out for the end of March, beginning of April, although this does happen in Kansas from time to time. It has been a good week. The weather has been kind of cold, so I've been getting one more chance to wear my warm woolies, which has been really nice. Work has been a little bit busy, but not too bad. I got some crafting done this week. I wish I had gotten more done, but that is kind of always the way, isn't it? And yesterday we had a special edition of my spinning group. Normally we meet on the last Sunday of the month, but since it is Easter today, we went ahead and moved it to Saturday. So I had people over spinning yesterday, which was fun. We had lots of yummy things. Everyone usually brings a tasty treat. And I finished plying some yarn and started on a little something else. And it has just been a nice weekend. Ahead of us today, I have a little bit more cleaning around the house to do. I kind of declared this weekend time to catch up on everything. I need to finish our taxes and do a few other things. And then I hope to do some crafting this evening. We're going to rent The Martian, which is a movie of the book by Andy Weir. It was a fabulous book, and I have not seen it, and so we're going to rent it and sit down and watch it. So that is what's going on here. Welcome. Like I said, I hope that you are having a wonderful weekend so far, and I will get into the podcast. So about 2 weeks ago, I was contacted by a man named Andy, and he said he owns a tea shop in Portland, and he said that one of his customers had mentioned watching my podcast, and that he had checked it out and wanted to know if he could send me some samples from his tea shop. So thank you, whoever you are, who tipped Andy off to the fact that there are podcasts about tea out there. And I accepted Andy's generous offer, and he sent me a few kinds of tea, one of which I'll be trying today. I just thought that I would show you. Andy owns a tea shop in Portland called Plum Deluxe. And it came with this card. It's plumdeluxe.com. And Andy has a couple things that he wanted me to know about. One is that all of his teas are organic. The second is that Andy started this tea shop after his mom died. And he talked about how he wanted the tea shop to celebrate quiet moments and taking some pleasure in those quiet moments. So he designs tea around that. Plum Deluxe has a number of regular sort of standing flavors, and then they also do a Tea of the Month club. For I believe it's $10 a month. You can get two, it's one tea selection plus a bonus tea. So basically 2 selections of tea per month. That come to your house, and the selections are not available to the general public, at least not for a little while. If they go over well, they may choose to make them available as blends later. But so Andy sent me this nice postcard with a note, and he sent me a couple different things. The first tea that he sent me is the Reading Nook Blend Black Tea. And that one is a black tea with rosebuds, lavender, chamomile, and natural flavor. And I sampled this week, and it was just delightful. It was a really nice tea, and I could totally see myself curling up with a book. So that was the first one that he sent me, and this is a regular blend. You can get it in his shop. I went and looked, and it is $7 per ounce. So he sent me this one for free, just to be sure, but I liked it a lot, and I wrote a blog post about this one on Friday. He also sent me a little bit of Mindful Morning black tea, and this is probably just more like 1 cup. And this is black tea, orange peels, blue cornflowers, bergamot oil, and vanilla essence. So it's a little bit, he said it's a fresh take on Earl Grey. And I have not tried this one yet, but I look forward to doing it. And the one that I am trying today is one that is not available. It is one of the selections from the Tea Club. I believe it might be the March selection, but it could be a little bit further than that. This is called Spring Hickory Oolong Tea. And this one is an oolong tea, orange peel, cinnamon, and pecan essence. These are both caffeinated, although I did notice that when I signed up for the Tea of the Month Club, because yes, I did, you have the option to ask for decaf, and I noticed that there were a few decaf blends on the site. So that is what I am trying this morning, and I am drinking it in my Loopy U mug. I got this when I went to the Spring Fling. Wow, all the way back in 2010, back when the Loopy U was still in St. Louis. So this is the Spring Hickory Oolong Tea, and I love oolong teas. I tend to find them, they're a little bit milder than black teas, but I really, really like them. So let's see. Oh yeah, that's delicious. It's tea, and I get a little bit of the orange and the nutty pecan flavor. So that is really delicious. I want to thank Andy for contacting me and sending me these teas. Like I said, I did get these teas for free, but I enjoyed them enough that I went back and signed up for the Tea of the Month Club. So I am sure that you will see more of Plum Deluxe in the future, and I encourage you to go over and check them out and maybe give them a try. So thank you, Andy, and thank you to the viewer, whoever told Andy about the podcast. I am very grateful to you for a nice cup of tea today. So let's move on to the knitting. I wanted to show you, first of all, I'm not really counting this in the knitting this week because this was finished last week and at least partially done. I just wanted to show you very briefly the Zambra shawl. I went ahead and blocked it last week after we talked. Remember, this is the linen kit that I was sent by Louette to try, and I gave a full review on it last week, so you can check out episode 80 if that's what you wanted. I talked about how I had put it through the washer and the dryer, and I was going to put it through the washer and dryer a second time to soften it up and make it a little bit drapier, which happened nicely. And then I wet blocked the edges so that you could see some of the lace, and I just wanted to show you the lace edging on that. I took some nice photos and put them on my Instagram account, and actually I put up a blog post yesterday that contains my full review and a whole bunch of shots. So that is the Zambra shawl by Susanna IC. It was knit in Louette Euroflax, and I will let you go to the blog or my project page for more details, but I just wanted to show you the very finished because it looked so nice when I was done blocking it. So that is that one. Let's go on to what I knit and worked on this week. Last week I told you I was going to knit a Mario. That is a pattern. It is a stuffed animal, Mario the Artistic Rabbit by Jenna Krupar. And I have knit this pattern multiple times, and I showed you a skein of hand spun. And this is a baby gift for a friend who is due in just another week or two, and Mario is finished. He's got his floppy ears and his child-safe eyes and nose. Oops, it's twisting just a little bit. And he has got his legs and arms, and he is knit out of handspun. This is Southern Cross fiber. I believe I said it was BFL last week. I think it was Falkland. This was something that I spun a long time ago. It was a little bit thick and thin, and I had to cut a few pieces out of it. But I am super happy with the way it came out. And the other thing that I am super excited about is that I got those clover pom-pom makers, and the tail tail is absolutely amazing. It is too big for the body. I probably should have gone with a smaller size, but I don't have a smaller size. And my last pom-poms, I have a different kind of pom-pom maker. I had one of those Lion brand pom-pom trees. And that one honestly makes slightly anemic pom-poms, and I wasn't super happy with it. So I went and got the Clover one, and oh my goodness, it is just a fabulous pom-pom tail. So this is Mario, and he is finished, and I am meeting with Mama tomorrow night after work. So I will be gifting Mario to her, and then I found a really, really cute sleeper that had sheep on it. So baby will have all the fiber animals, bunny and sheep. So I am super, super excited, but that is Mr. Mario. The second item that I was working on this week that I showed you last week is a review that I am doing for Bijou Basin. As I told you, the nice folks over at Stitchcraft Marketing and Bijou Basin sent me a skein of Tibetan Dream, which is their fingering weight yak yarn. It is 85% yak down and 15% nylon. It is 400 yards, and it says hand wash, warm, dry, flat. And I chose to knit the Star Shower Cowl by Hilary Smith Callis. And I was calling mine Spring Showers, and I actually finished this yesterday. I did not have time to block it, so you'll probably be seeing it next week on the podcast, but I thought I would talk about it a little bit. This is another cowl like the last pattern that I knit, which goes back and forth for kind of a shawl, and then you expand, then you join in the round at a certain point and go ahead and knit the cowl. And this is my finished cowl. Ends are woven in, I just haven't snipped them off. I knit the pattern as written, although I added one extra repeat because I had so much yarn left at the end of the section that I was supposed to finish on. And I didn't get a full repeat of the pattern. To get a full repeat of the pattern, I was about 3 stockinette rows too short, but I made the correct decision because this is all I had left when I bound off. So I totally, and I was just glancing because all of a sudden it's snowing harder. So I totally guessed that one right. This is a fabulous pattern. It was super easy to knit and well written. And like I said, this is the Bijou Basin yarn. And like I said, this is the Star Shower Cowl. It needs a good blocking. So let's talk about the yarn. The base for this yarn is absolutely fantastic. It is super soft. I can't wait to have it around my neck. The nylon probably makes it somewhat durable for socks, but I couldn't imagine using it for socks, although they'd make really, really cushy, fabulous socks. But I really wanted this around my neck. I was super, super pleased with the yarn. It was just the slightest bit splitty, so I needed to use kind of a sharp needle tip to be sure that I didn't split the yarn. I suspect that's just because yak down is a fairly short stapled fiber, so I suspect that's why it was just a little splitty and didn't hold together quite as nicely as sometimes wool does, because that's a little bit more sticky. Like I said, I was sent this yarn by Bijou Basin to evaluate it. This, the yarn itself is, well, okay. Bijou Basin has a variety of their own colors of yarn, and they specialize in luxury yarns like cashmere, yak. They also have some Kiviot, which, if you know, is the fiber from the musk ox, and they can't actually harvest it from the musk ox. They have to wait until it actually sloughs off. So it is a very rare fiber, and so Bijou Basin specializes in a lot of these rare luxury fibers. This was my first time knitting with their yarn, and I was super pleased with it. One of the things that Bijou Basin does is they collaborate with indie or other well-known dyers to dye their base yarn. And so they collaborate with a number of dyers. The ones that I noticed on the site were Lost City Knits, Miss Babs, and then this is the most recent collaboration with artist Annie Modisett, who has, she is a pattern designer, and she has Mode Knits yarns, which is MODEKNITS.com. So if you're looking for her, you can find her there. So this colorway is actually part of a new line for Bijou Basin that was designed by Annie Modisett. And this is called the Fuchsia Ombre Flow colorway. And while I was absolutely in love with the base yarn, I have to say that I was a little bit disappointed in the colorway. To me, an ombre means that there's going to be some flow in the color, some light to dark, or dark to light. And I sort of thought that this was going to be a gradient. And if you'll note the transition, there's like a little bit of a transition, but not that much. And I think I was hoping for something just a little bit more sophisticated out of this yarn. And the colors, to me, it's just a bit of a weird transition to the purple. And I feel like the pink is very bright and pinky, and the purple down at the bottom is a little bit bluer, and it looks kind of odd to me. So I can't say that I'm 100% pleased with it, because it's just kind of an odd transition, and it looks like two separate pieces of a garment that don't exactly belong together. And I looked at a bunch of the other colorways, and several of the other colorways look like they kind of echo this, in terms of like one color at the outside of the ball and one color on the inside. And obviously I can't tell what the transitions are like. But I guess I just had been hoping for something that was a little bit more sophisticated, for lack of a better term. I will definitely use this yarn again. I have really been eyeing the Miss Babs colorways, because they are absolutely stunning. So I do want to say thank you to Bijou Basin, and thank you to Stitchcraft Knitting for thinking of me. This was a wonderful project. I can highly recommend the yarns. Like I said, I just I have some reservations about the particular colors of the Mode Knit line. They're like I said, they're very bright and colorful, but I can't say that I'm thrilled with some of the transitions. So that is my Star Shower cowl. I will bring it back next week. It is meant to be worn thusly, like the other one that I showed you. Where you wear it around your neck and you have a little bit more bulk at the front. Also, I do see that she, in some of the model pictures, she actually pulls the cowl. I'm seeing the end and I want to tuck that in. She actually pulls the cowl down just a little bit. Like I said, this is unblocked. I expect to get a little more space out of it when it's blocked. And I'm, again, not sure about the colors. It's very sacrilegious, but I might actually stick this in a dye pot. See what I can do with it, because I would love to wear this, but I'm just not sure it will go with my wardrobe as it currently stands. So that is the Star Shower cowl. Like I said, an excellent pattern, and Bijou Basin, an excellent yarn, and please go check out their yarns. This was a great one to try, and thank you. So that brings me to what I knit this week. I put a few rows on Hilda. I didn't bring that back because it looks the same, but Hilda is my only work in progress right now. So I have a few more yarns that I am going to be reviewing come April, but I think I'm going to spend the next several days through the end of March, sort of with the 31st as my cutoff. I am really going to try and finish the body on Hilda, and I'm hoping that if I focus on it for the next 5 days, I can finish the body and get to the sleeves. Like I said, I do have a few more yarn reviews coming in, some of which I have, some of which I don't have in my possession yet, so I will talk about them next week on the podcast. Also, I will talk about the knit along that is starting soon, as I announced last week. Anne from Woolly Wonka Fibers and I are hosting a joint knit along for April and May, and that is the Shawl KAL. And I say knit along, but I mean knit along or crochet along. The details are in my Ravelry group, as they are in her Ravelry group, and I will put a link to those in the show notes. Basically, it's simple: knit a shawl between April 1st and May 30th. It can be a whip as long as it's less than 25% done. You can use any pattern. that you would like, and any yarn that you would like. There is a slight incentive for using one of Anne's beautiful patterns, and she will be offering a discount on her patterns. I don't remember if she told me exactly what she settled on, but it will be a percentage off, and that is with the code CKTWWF Shawl KAL, and that's Corner of Knit and Tea Woolly Wonka Fibers Shawl KAL, and I will put that tag in the notes as well, so please check that out. I have a couple different things that I'm planning. I have been wanting to knit Kay Jones' Duchess of Devonshire shawl, and I ordered some yarn from West Yorkshire Spinners, which is a new yarn to me, and so I would really, really like to knit that one. I also just finished that handspun, those singles, and I have been eyeing some of Anne's patterns, so I might, if possible, knit 2 shawls during the time, but that may be a little overly ambitious because, like I said, I have some other projects coming in for review. So please do join us over in the Knit Along thread. There hasn't been any chat yet, although it is open, and I'm going to try and start some chat today. And I hope that you will knit along or crochet along with us. There will be some fun prizes, so definitely think about participating. So that brings me to spinning. Last week I showed you a kind of crazy braid, which was a Fat Cat Knits Targi braid, and it was super sized. It was 5 ounces, and it was crazy yellows and greens and purples, and it was called Alchemy. And I have finished that, although it's still a little bit wet, so it's not quite ready to be weighed and measured. But that looks like this, and that is some great colors. It's got this neon highlighter yellow and neon green and a little bit of a bluey purple and some magenta purple, and then some dark green, almost brown swampy greens, and it is just a super fun color. And I spun that barber poles, and well, I spun it 2-ply. I tore it into strips, and the interesting thing is that in a lot of places the colors lined up. So there are a lot of places where you get like those yellow strands right in here where you get the 2 strands of yellow, and there are some places where you get 2 strands of purple applied together, but there's also plenty of barber poling. This one is actually spoken for. Someone commented on my Instagram that they didn't even want me to put it into the shop. They wanted me to, a friend of mine said she wants me to just send her an invoice. So I need to take some glamour shots and make sure she still wants it. If she doesn't want it, it will go into the shop, but I suspect this one is spoken for. So that brings me to what it's time to spin this week. A few months ago, right before I went on my no-buy, and I'll talk about that in a minute, right before I went on my no-buy, I saw a beautiful club offering from Nest Fiber, and someone I knew was selling theirs, and I jumped right on it. It is a merino bamboo silk blend, and it is absolutely gorgeous. It is called Geminid. Geminid, and it is gorgeous. It is blues and grays and kind of a tan and some mauve, and it's soft colors, and I love the look that the bamboo gives to it. It's just a little bit muted, but it also gives a shine and a strength, and I think this actually would make amazing sock yarn. We'll have to see if I can spin it in a way that would make it sock yarn, but this one is just absolutely gorgeous, and I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to spin it, if I'm going to spin long color repeats or if I'm going to barber pole. This one actually I think would almost benefit from long color repeats, but I can't decide, so I will have to think about it this week. But this is what I'm going to spin this week. I also have because we were spinning yesterday and I plied my yarn and finished early, I actually started spinning a small bat that I have. So that is on the wheel right now, and I didn't actually bring it in, but I should have that to show you next week. It's probably between 1 ounce and 2 ounces, so it's kind of a quick spin, but I just thought I would kind of throw that on the wheel and see what happened. But this will be the main spin, and hopefully I will have this to show you next weekend. So that brings me to the end of a lot of my prepared material. I already talked about the knit along because that starts Friday, April 1st. I wanted to talk about a wonderful package that I received this week. I took part in Mina, the Knitting Expats swap. She did a swap where her primary goal was to match people from different countries together so that you could exchange comforts of your own country. And the idea was to send all kinds of local things that your partner wouldn't be able to get. So I sent my partner, whose name is Maya in Sweden, I sent her a skein of sock yarn dyed by my lovely friend Christine, who is the treasure goddess. It was a skein of blues and brown, or teals and browns, teal and chocolate, and I love her bouncy sock yarn and the colorway. And then I sent Maya a skein of alpaca lace weight, or alpaca fingering weight that came from a local alpaca farm, the owner of which is in my spinning group. Then I added some local treats. I went to Andre's, which is a chocolatier in Kansas City, and got her some chocolate-covered almonds that I absolutely love. And then I went to our local tea shop and sent her some selections from there. So this week I got my box from Maya. And I just wanted to show you a little bit about what I got, because I also am thinking about using one of these yarns for a knit along that I'll talk about in a minute. So I got this beautiful card of a spinner, which was absolutely lovely. And it had a lovely note from Maya explaining some things. This is kind of a tea towel slash, I think she called it a wash rag, that showed houses of Uppsala, which is where she is from in Sweden. And I recognize Uppsala because part of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo takes place there. So I recognized the name, but I thought this was super cute. She sent me some tea from her favorite tea shop, and she said that it is a themed tea. It is based on a cartoon character that's a cat whose name is Maya. So it's the same as her name. And I have not tried this yet, but I loved the little, I think she drew this on there, and I thought that was super cute. And I absolutely cannot pronounce the tea shop. That is the tea shop that it came from, but I'm super excited to try it. She sent me some chocolate, which I have been very good and not opened yet, and it looks like actually it came from the same tea shop. And there is some English on the back, and it's got a variety of, looks like there's white chocolate and milk chocolate, and then there's all kinds of things in here. There's, looks like there's vanilla, there's lemon paste, coconut flakes, elderberry juice, and a few other things. So I think this should be great to try, and I'm sure my husband will enjoy trying that with me. She sent me a cute little tea strainer that looks like a little house, and I thought that was super cute. And then she sent me knitted goods. She made me a little project bag, which looks perfect for sock-sized projects, and I really, really love this fabric. She sent me a skein of Swedish sock yarn, which I am not going to try and pronounce this because I'm sure I will butcher it. It looks like, I don't know whether it's a self-striping exactly. It looks like it probably is, and it's blues and purples. And then this is the one that I was thinking about using in something, and I'll talk about it in just a second. This was hand-dyed by Maya. It is an 80/20 superwash wool nylon, 400 meters, and she called it corner blue, and my monitor is not going to do it justice. It is a beautiful blue, and there are also little bits of teal and purple in here, and I absolutely love this. And the reason I was talking about this and wanted to show this today is because as part of this swap, Mina is going to do a knit along next, or I guess it could be a crochet along too. She's going to do a 2-month along that is, I believe her theme is kind of yarn from friends, or like projects that celebrate friends. And you don't actually have to have participated in the swap to participate in this, but the point being that you should use something that you received from friends. And her idea originally was that we could use something we received in the swap to craft something, but she wanted to open it up to everyone, so it's not just people who took part in the swap. But I decided that this would be a great yarn to use for socks. And I have been dying to knit a pair of patterned socks. And I even have the pattern in mind. It's Wedge by Cookie A. And I was actually looking for a semi-solid yarn to knit it with because I think it will look better in that than a Variegated. I think the pattern will show up better because it's a textural knit. And so I am super excited to have received this. And the other thing that's coming up in April and May is Wolf Farms. Dawn and James from the Wolf Farms podcast. They are doing a patterned sock knit along, and that is also running in April and May. So I hope to knit a pair of patterned socks that will be good for a couple different knit alongs. And I haven't knit any socks yet this year, and I really would like to. So that is my plan as far as that goes. And then the last thing that I got in the package, and I will just show this briefly, she sent me a few beautiful little stitch markers and a pair of snips, which I'm sure will be useful for my travel case. So that is the wonderful package that I received from Maya. I was super excited. It was a great swap. And I hope to swap again, maybe in Mina's group, because it's just a really nice group. And I was super excited to get some things that I normally would not have access to, and to send some things that someone else would normally not really have access to. So I think that's it. I've talked a little bit about upcoming projects. I'm sure I will have more to show you because, like I said, my plan is to finish the body on my Hilda this week and then probably go cast on Mania next weekend. So I will have a bunch of new projects to show you. So thank you for spending time with me. If this was your first time, I appreciate you checking out my podcast, and I hope you'll come back again. If you were tuning in again, thank you for coming back. I so enjoy spending time with you and hearing from you. And I wish all of you a happy Easter and a wonderful week ahead. And I will say, until I see you again, happy knitting, happy spinning, happy sipping, and I'll see you next time. Bye.